You're about to view an episode of Sites on EdTech, Zanichelli Venture's interview series with people from the education technologies world. I am your host, Luigi Morino, and in this episode I interviewed Alessandro di Lullo, co-founder of SuperCharger Ventures, a well-known EdTech accelerator and incubator. They have also recently launched their MOOC on Coursera, Introduction to EdTech, so make sure to check it out. We have divided this episode into two sections. In the first, we discuss the MOOC, and in the second, we discuss what's going on at SuperCharger Ventures. Here is the interview. I'm very happy to be speaking to Alessandro today. He is the co-founder of SuperCharger Ventures, a well-known accelerator and incubator in the EdTech field. Thank you for joining us, Alessandro.
Thank you very much, Luigi and Zanichelli Venture, for having me here.
Yeah, so there's some really exciting news. You've launched the Introduction to EdTech MOOC. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about both the accelerator, incubator, what you're doing at SuperCharger Ventures, but also about the MOOC. So let's jump into the MOOC first. Who is the MOOC aimed at?
Amazing, and really an exciting project that we launched and that we're really close to. The MOOC is really designed for, simply put, everyone who is keen to join the EdTech revolution. And why I say this, because EdTech is getting broader and broader as a sector, is involving more and more participants, from new entrants to people working in corporates, to educators, of course, to students, to parents. And so we really do believe that there was the need to create a reference course, something that could explain what EdTech is all about to people that are hearing about these trends, these new things in education, and want to take part of it, from educators who are looking to upskill themselves and take advantage of the new technology, to school university leaders who want to understand what's happening and how to digitize their institutions, to investors that are not maybe in the EdTech field, but they're really keen to understand more what is new in the space, to aspiring entrepreneurs to understand what are the new technologies. So it's really a course for everyone who wants to participate in the revolution of the sector.
Do you think there's still too little awareness about what's going on in the EdTech field, even amongst people who are in tangent fields like education, perhaps people working in universities, professors, lecturers, also administration? Are they insufficiently aware of all the tools that EdTech could potentially provide them?
Simple answer is for sure. Really think that there is still very little awareness, and we are doing everything we can to support these and create more awareness. It is important because everyone will be this is just really the very beginning of EdTech. We are super sure about it, and we are doing our best really to support people in this. It is important because we truly believe that education in a few years will be fundamentally different to what it is today. And so it's really important for people to understand where the market is going. And you rightly said, not just educators, but maybe even people in the admin functions of universities, schools, even corporates. So it's really for everyone, and there is still little awareness, and that's why we created this course.
So I suppose this was your main motivation in building the MOOC.
100%. It was really on one side, the main motivation. We can say that it was really to that could be a reference for people who are like, again, what is this EdTech about, right? I hear a lot of online learning, remote learning, hybrid learning, but it's really difficult, as you know, to sort of get in a way, I would say, an executive briefing almost, something, in a relatively short amount of time, which is 15 hours, how much the course lasts. But at the same time, that could be in a way comprehensive to get the foundational knowledge, at least, to then start your journey. Naturally, we don't believe that in about 15 hours we can give all the answers to all the questions, but we do believe that we gave and we give a good starting point, a great foundational knowledge for people to start this journey. And so this was really our main motivation. And then on the other side, going forward and also hoping, as we believe that the course will get many people, it's really also to in a way build a community around it. So really bring together so many great people from all around the world that are interested in the evolution of the sector.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. I'm really excited about this. I was just taking a look because you've just launched a couple of days ago on the 28th, was that right? 28th of April.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's correct, yeah.
So I've been taking a look, but perhaps you can give us a bit of a guided tour and show us around. Like it's structured on 4 weeks, right? Can we pop in and take a look what the various areas of inquiry are in the MOOC?
Absolutely, with pleasure. I'm gonna share my screen. So the course is structured in around 4 weeks, around 4 main modules. As I was saying, about 15 hours in total. The first week is what we call Foundation of EdTech. So it's really about giving the definitions, giving the essentially explaining the key characteristics of the phenomenon, the key verticals that we see, and really give everyone a basic understanding of what we are talking about to set the scene. We'd also talk in this module about the evolution of the EdTech sector, which has been really interesting, and it's really gives everyone really a sort of sense of where we are and where we have been in the past, and why this moment is really exciting for the sector, and why we're just at the very beginning. Then week 2, we look at digital and alternative education, which is basically all the new models and the new entrants that we are seeing in the market. As I'm sure many of you have read or listened or even talked to maybe some of them. We're really seeing amazing new startups, amazing new models coming into the market. The VC market in EdTech is getting really hot at the moment. Last year we had more than 20 billion invested with great companies like UpGrad, where we have Mayank, the MD and co-founder in the course, to talk about other Indian unicorns in Academy, Byju's, of course. Then now Byju is also a sponsor to the World Cup, the upcoming World Cup in Qatar. So just to give you a sense how it's not just about little startups doing something cool. It's about big companies transforming the way the world looks in a way. And not that every successful company needs to sponsor the World Cup, but you get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
And so we really talk about what are the new models that we're seeing across different verticals, from early childhood K-12 to higher education, universities, business schools, and all the way to professional development and executive education. And
workplace learning.
Exactly, as well. And here again, it's really every module has different components of quizzes, of course, written text, videos, interviews, assessments. So it's really about getting, most importantly, hearing from the people who have done it and from the experts in the field. So it was not just about finding people who can explain, but people who can talk, who can walk the talk, right? And who shares really practical insights. Then week 3, in week 2 we talk about essentially the new models, the new entrants, and week 3 we're talking about institutions. So what EdTech means for education institutions and how they can apply these concepts and technologies and models, and how they can essentially transform digitally. And here we had the amazing support of great professors from FOAM Alliance, from SMT Berlin to EdTech to Ivy Business School, who really share their best practices and what they've seen working in the market. So again, really practical insights also here. And then last, a topic that I'm really close to, AI in education. I do believe that AI is one of the most impactful and the technology with the most potential in education, but in the world as well, in a way. And so that's why we're also dedicating the last module to artificial intelligence. And so here we talk first about what is AI practically, just to give a basis for non-technical people, especially. Then how artificial intelligence is applied in education with clear and simple case studies and examples, just for people to appreciate what is the impact and what are the technologies and solutions that are actually already there. And then we also talk about the ethics and also about the AR and VR, which is also another very interesting very interesting technology and trend that we're seeing in the market.
About week 4, it's quite a decision to dedicate 1/4 of the MOOC's portion to AI in EdTech, AI in education. Now, you'll have to excuse my thorny question, but was that mainly because AI is a hot topic and so you thought you had to talk about it? Or do you think there is really some game-changing potential in AI in EdTech, AI in education? And if so, which ones do you think are the applications that are coming online right now or in the very near future that are already going to be quite big game changers, and which ones instead are not going to be coming up too soon, and we're gonna be seeing them, if ever, much later in a much later future?
I love this question. So no, I can promise that it was not just to keep up the hype, but simply put, because we do believe that this perhaps is one of the most important topics. And so in a way, 1/4 perhaps doesn't even do justice about the possibility, the importance of AI and what are its possibilities in the market. And so basically, and why I'm saying this, and what are the most interesting things that we are seeing. We strongly do believe that artificial intelligence is going to be absolutely central to every institution even in the near future. We've seen this in also other industries. As you know, years ago, we were mainly focusing on finance. And we have seen that before there was primarily a talk about being digital first, but now the talk will be soon shifting to being AI first, being AI centric. So AI is not just about, understanding how to do a few cool things that could help us, I don't know, save time or make more money or give us a better customer and learning experience, but it's really about how to shape how the institution, the school, the university functions. I truly believe this. And based on what we are seeing, we already see, as I'm sure you'll enjoy in the MOOC, because please do go and have a look at this module and let me know. There are already a number of applications that we're already seeing, and we explain this with a simple framework. On one side, we do already see that the AI is being successfully implemented in saving time to teachers. Many teachers, for example, already do spend way too much time in administrative tasks, and artificial intelligence can be a great ally in helping teachers save time by, for example, automating certain question generation, by automating assignments, by especially automating the corrections of assignments. We are seeing also how AI can be implemented in helping teachers and students with the AI tutors, and really something that can function as an always available and ready teaching assistant. Then going forward, we truly believe that the AI will be instrumental in better understanding how we learn. Today, we measure learning simply in a way how you perform in the assessment. It's how good or bad you learn, right? But we all know, and very often, we often say, yeah, but in life is different. Then what you really understand is different. Then what you really can apply is different. And so how can we understand how we learn? And so AI will be absolutely instrumental in this. We're already seeing some very interesting companies that we also have in our portfolio make use of AI by analyzing the data that we produce by, for example, accessing and using the LMS, or how we interact with our fellow learners, or on the other side, how we interact when we are on a call. And so there is a lot essentially that will come from AI, and we're really excited about this. And please have a look at the MOOC where we explain much more in details.
Yeah. And I think we can say it here for some of the observers of EdTech who are not directly involved in the field. AI is not going to replace teachers. Something that's spoken about for some reason a lot, but that's no one in the EdTech field is predicting that in any way. AI is mostly going to complement teachers and make the most valuable parts of the teaching job. empowered to empower teachers to dedicate themselves to those part of the job rather than, as you were saying, administrative tasks and other parts that could potentially be automated. Do you agree with this?
Absolutely. Absolutely, 100% agree. I don't believe AI will substitute teacher anytime soon. Paradoxically, in a world that is becoming more and more tech-driven, we need to be more human. And so, for example, the professionals, the teachers that would really excel in the near future, even today in a way, but especially in the near futures, are the ones who are really great at giving that more, not just and simply preparing a lesson and delivering it, but delivering it in a meaningful way and really understanding, with the help of technology, how to help those in need. Maybe some students are a bit behind or some students are ahead. And so how can I be an educator and how can I be a supporter of people's growth, both if we think about, kids and executive learners, right?
Yeah. I wanted to jump into week 3 and take a look at the specifics of the content of week 3, if we can do that, because while taking a look and around in the MOOC and watching some of the videos, reading some of the extracts, I noticed this is a very practical section, very practical for institutions that could be utilizing EdTech. I am wondering, to what extent do you think that this is actually enough to get universities and potentially which other institutions started in building an EdTech team? I thought, for example, you were talking about how there was a section dedicated to how do I start my EdTech team, which components do I need and whatnot. So can you walk us through a little bit about through the whole of week 3?
With pleasure. Week 3 is really, in a way, just like every other week, is a very meaningful and interesting week. It's particularly interesting for really educators and people at schools or universities. And why? Again, first, because it's really the content production, the design has been led really by people who are doing this as their main job and are really pioneering how innovation is being done primarily at the university level, given their positions, but so many concepts are also applicable to schools and other type of institutions, as we try to keep it, as I was saying at the beginning, really in a way for all. And it's really a rich module in a way, and as you will see, it's a bit different in structure because we wanted to keep it in a way a bit of a, I wouldn't say in a way a free flow, but really our main goal was really to take as much as we could from the practical experience of these institutions. And so therefore you will find great concepts like, of course, what are the key trends that we are seeing when it comes to how universities and schools are evolving, to new approaches to delivering education, not just face-to-face, but online in hybrid models, remote and more, to how educators can adapt with technology. As we were saying before, we don't expect AI or technology to replace completely educators, but actually educators need to upskill themselves in a way and really need to make advantage of so many great technologies and tools that are out there. And again, we drive people and learners here through very practical examples and best practice. So now this has been done successfully at large institutions. We talk practically about also how EdTech can be implemented, as we said, in the classroom, but also beyond the classroom. And so really, what is digital transformation for an education institution? How can this be implemented? What are the key things to consider? How can we make sure that this becomes a key strategic priority for institutions? And really, as you see from the content, there are really a lot of great practical insights, use cases, best practices. So if you want to really learn and read and get to know from great people, experts who are doing this practically and have been doing this successfully, you really enjoy this section of the MOOC. Yeah.
Do you think that after week 3, someone in lead of a team in an institution, in an educational institution, is going to be ready to start an EdTech team within their institution?
I mean that's in a way $1 million question, because as you know, education institutions such as universities, schools are rather complex institutions. So I hope yes. However, what I'm confident I can say is really that I'm sure there are so many, and we actually talk to many leaders out there, both in schools, universities, and more, that they say they understand the importance and the urgency of transforming and innovate digitally, because they want to do better for their students, for their staff. They see naturally that some models are being put into question in a way, especially if it comes to the efficacy and the efficiency, even in a way, of schools and universities. And so we see many people who are asking themselves, okay, but we see the importance, but how do we do it? And so that's practically the question that we're answering. Like, how do you do it? How do you start?
I saw one part of one of the videos in week 3 was actually breaking down the professional profiles that are necessary in an EdTech team.
Absolutely.
Which one was that? Is it the I thought I saw it just there.
Yeah, it's it should be here. 1 second, let me find it here. Yeah, in part 2 here, building an EdTech team and how to position an EdTech team within the institution.
Can we take a quick look at that?
Absolutely, we can have a look at the video.
In my own experience, once the decision was made to invest in an EdTech team, the first question we asked was, where to put it? As a small standalone business school, we did not have a central innovation function, and our teaching and learning innovation activities were spread across the entire faculty and professional teams. Given the strategic importance we placed on EdTech, we decided to build a team directly under the school's president. In 2018, we noticed a significant increase in requests from our executive education clients for blended programs. The change felt so rapid that we felt really a strategic shift was happening in our industry. Our executive education clients, one of our major stakeholder groups, were beginning to reassess how learning was being delivered in their organizations. It seemed like there was a radical shift in terms of openness towards more digital delivery. Initially, the school's leadership team felt that it was important to keep the EdTech area close to where the strategic decisions were being made. We needed full alignment on how far the school would go with respect to the integration of technology in our teaching and learning. As we found our feet and our rhythm, and the team became well established and embedded, we moved the team to our programs area. Having ensured strategic alignment, the time came to position the unit closer to the learners themselves and to our faculty. Other institutions may choose to integrate EdTech teams into existing functions or create entirely new and independent businesses to look after digitally enhanced learning. You'll be asked to reflect on your own context at the end of this session. Let's now have a look at the different roles in an EdTech team. The learning designer, also known as instructional designer, the media designer, the project lead, and the instructional technologist.
Hi, I'm Olivia de Pastron, and I'm a senior learning designer at ESMT Berlin. Learning designers work with academics and other subject matter experts to reimagine their courses for online and blended learning so that learners have an impactful experience.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing that. I'm really excited about this content. So in building the whole MOOC, you had the chance to talk to a quite remarkable extract of people involved in EdTech very broadly. Now, many of these you certainly knew because of your work at SuperCharger Ventures, of course. But did you particularly learn something new? You knew a lot of this content, but in building the MOOC, did you yourself learn some new things?
What I was really, in a way, excited about was to really hear practically the behind the scenes. What I'm really thankful, especially for all the experts, and there are more than basically 10 experts involved in the course. So it's really, and as we're saying, from the US down to Asia, they were really great at sharing their practical experience in a very open way. So it was not like, a press release or a very well thought article put there on a blog. It was really, okay, let me walk you through my journey. And so I'm really thankful to each one of them, really, to sharing practically what they do, how they do it, how they've done it, how they created their success stories, and really openly tips for people who are keen. And so it's really, we also wanted to keep it in a very conversational way, as you will see in the MOOC, because we wanted everyone to have the feeling and have the experience of really just getting on a Zoom call with these great people and just learn from them, something that is not possible otherwise, right? So that was our main goal, and I really enjoyed it personally, and I hope everyone will.
Awesome. Yes, I totally recommend it to all my connections that are interested in EdTech, both the ones that do have experience in EdTech, as well as, of course, those that have had limited exposure to what is going on in EdTech, to register to the Introduction to EdTech course on Coursera. And thanks a lot for building this. I'd like to move on to the next part of the interview and talk about what's going on at SuperCharger Ventures.